Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the players onto court for our opening match of this evening's session. Last year's finalist from England, Emily Whitlock, and her opponent and compatriot seeded 3-4 for this year's AJ Bell British National Championships, Victoria Lust.
Half time.
So welcome back to the British National Squash Championships, sponsored by AJ Bell 2020, and here at the University of Nottingham. We have the next women's match between Victoria Lust, 14 in the world, and Emily Whitlock, currently 24 in the world. Another England v England match. And just to recap on the previous matches, Sarah Jane Perry coming through in 5, George Parker playing a very good match, winning in 3 against Selby. Tomlinson coming through in a tough 5-setter against Tamel, and James Wilstrop coming through in 3, a masterclass from him. Then of course this match followed by Richie Fallows and Adrian Waller, and then unfortunately Alison Waters had to withdraw from this year's event after sustaining an ankle injury yesterday, so Jasmine Hutton is automatically going through to the semi-finals tomorrow. Not the way she would have wanted it, but that's sport. And Joel Makin, the number 1 seed from Wales, that match has now been brought forward to 7:30 against Alan Clyne, the Scottish champion. Well, I'm Simon Park, and joining me in the commentary box for this one match this evening is Sarah Campion. Good evening, Sarah.
Hi, Parky.
Sarah, you have previously world ranked 15, and you're currently the head coach at Queen's Halifax, and also married to David Campion, unfortunately.
That's right, Parky. A very good friend of yours.
Yeah, it's just in the commentary box earlier, commentating on his brother, who played exceptionally well. So in your career, you've been retired for a few years now. Have you played against these two?
Yeah, I've played against both of these girls actually. Yeah, a good few years ago now, but I do remember a right marathon against Victoria Lust actually in the States. Big 3-2 battle that she came out on top. So.
Oh dear.
Yeah, not a good one to remember.
Bad memories of that. And Emily Whitlock?
I seem to remember having played her more in practice actually than in tournaments. But yeah, she obviously is quite a few years younger than me, and sort of was coming through and doing really well just as I was sort of finishing. So, but yeah, she's a strong competitor, and I think this is a really intriguing matchup.
Yeah, both of these girls are very stubborn on court, as you have to be as a professional squash player. Ultra competitive. There you see Jem Whitlock, the mother of Emily, giving us some help. She was her coach here last year when she did so well.
Perhaps that's superstition. She wants to stick to what worked well last year.
Just talking to them both earlier about their
National Squash Championships
cockapoos, comparing cockapoo pictures. We'll get onto that later.
Okay.
Best of 5 games.
We were just chatting off mic before, weren't we? And I think it's just coming up now, but I think the head-to-head between these two, it actually is 5-1 to Victoria Lust.
Oh, that's interesting actually, because I had a little chat with Victoria Lust before the match, and she seemed to tell me that she didn't think she'd ever lost to Emily, so perhaps she's wiped that from her mind.
Selective memory. I mean, it could have been one of those that, not that Whitlock's not capable of beating Lust, but could have been one of those that was an injury and you kind of just do actually banish it from your mind.
Yeah, possibly. But it's quite interesting because she does have quite a significant record against Emily. And at the moment, you'd say that probably Emily is in better form, but ranked lower. So.
Well, Emily has been higher in the world, not than Lust, but than her own ranking at present, hasn't she? She's been in the teens. He got a very big win in the Tournament Champions recently in round 2, beating Amanda Sobey, the local hero, in 5. 11-7 in the 5th, and then eventually going out to Alison Waters in the next round.
And that is a pretty significant win to beat Amanda in New York as well.
Yeah, huge. Got to the final here, of course. Emily Whitlock last year, obviously comfortable in this court.
I think they'll both be aware that the draw's kind of opened up on their side as well, and
3-1.
There's quite a lot at stake really for the winner of this match.
It puts more pressure on, doesn't it? I don't know if you've been in that situation before, but obviously no disrespect to Jazz Hutton, she's a fantastic player, but it's just expected to be Alison Waters, who's won this tournament so many times.
Yeah, I think both the players will sort of have that in their mind going into this match. So
could be a bit of a nervy one.
Possibly. Although they're both really experienced, aren't they? So I'm sure that they can handle the pressure, but we'll see.
Would you say these two have some similarities in the way they play?
I think they both like to take the ball in short when they get the chance.
5-1.
Yeah, I'd say they're actually
not in the tin.
Yeah, not like that.
There are some similarities, and they're both dogged, aren't they? In their
they're
their
tough.
outlook, tough, and never say die. Fantastic start for Whitlock, though. She's got a bit of luck as well. Tends to happen when you're playing well, doesn't it?
Certainly make your own luck. Oof.
See, the head coach at Queen's Halifax and a mother of two young girls. How's that going for you? Busy?
It's very busy, yeah. Keeps me on my toes, but it's all good fun, so.
Got those two on the squash court yet?
Yes, it's a good way to keep them kind of under control. Shut the squash court door and they can play with a few balls on there. So, yeah, so the eldest one is playing a little bit of squash, but the youngest is only 2.
Yeah.
So.
It's never too early. It's a bit better from Lust. It's actually 30 years of age now, Victoria Lust. It's incredible how time flies.
Good shot.
Last time I looked, she was a junior.
Well, she actually just told me that someone asked her which Masters category she was in this year, so she was quite offended.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Did she knock him out?
She wasn't a happy bunny.
Speaking of which, you're playing in the Masters, aren't you, this year? Over 35s. You've just
Yeah,
reached that grand old age. And how's it? You're number 1 seed, of course.
I am number 1 seed, yeah. I thought I'd give it a shot this year, so see how it goes. Start playing tomorrow.
Oh, you start tomorrow, because it's quite a small draw, isn't it?
It is a small draw, and actually someone pulled out, so I got to buy.
Well, if any of you over 35 women are listening, let's get entered for next year. We need a bigger draw.
Yeah, definitely.
Some competition for Sarah.
There could be plenty who could play in over 35s now. She's getting onto that ball really quickly. Lusty leaves it at the front.
And out.
Yeah, perhaps the wrong shot there. She was at full stretch, at full speed, going into the back forehand. Perhaps not going for a winner was the wrong option. She's got points to play with, though, a little to a certain extent. She doesn't really want Lust to get to 6 here.
Great shot.
Stroke to Whitlock. And out. 10-5, game ball.
Emily is really stepping up the court and attacking on that volley.
She's very proactive, isn't she? That's the reason why she's got 5 game balls here. Much more proactive than her opponent, and she's deserved it.
Shot.
She's deserved it here, Emily Whitlock. Really stepping up the court and making every shot count, playing with purpose. Victoria Lust often on the back foot. So Emily Whitlock takes the first game 11-5 in 8 minutes. Yeah, it was Emily Whitlock who, from the word go really, from the first serve, was stepping up the court, right up on the short line and looking for any opportunity to take the ball early on the volley or the half volley you see there. Getting a little bit of luck, apologising. Not sure how genuine it was, but Victoria Lust has got a lot of skill, but she's not been able to show her ability, and you can see her frustration at the end there. One love, Whitlock.
1 game to love. Love all.
So a very impressive first game for Whitlock. Bit of work to do for Victoria Lust.
I think Victoria Lust was looking a little bit kind of frustrated with herself towards the end of that game, so I think she'll knuckle down here. And I mean, she left the ball a little bit short and allowing Emily to really get onto the ball at the front, so I would imagine that she'll be trying to hit those back corners a little bit more in this game.
She was all over that. She's got to tighten up as well, hasn't she? It's just not accurate enough from Lust. She's not getting the ball close to the side wall. She's not getting it really far up the court into the corners either.
Just trying to G herself up there, I think. Just shout and get her sort of adrenaline going and a little bit of aggression on there.
Well, she has to do something, doesn't she, to get herself going. What would you do? What would your tactic be if you were struggling a bit?
I'd just start to try and hit my targets a little bit better in the back of the court, and just try and get myself up on the tee, because at the moment Emily's kind of in front and being allowed to sort of express herself a little bit more, really.
Just go back to basics if you're having a bit of a bad time. Reset yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's tight, but it's a little bit short.
Well, we couldn't see from our camera angle, but Victoria Lust absolutely certain that ball was out.
4-1.
No one else agreeing with that. She's actually based in Vancouver, Victoria Lust. She's been there quite a few years, I think.
Yeah, I think she loves it there. I think she's got a new job coaching at her school, and obviously training full time as well. So I think she's got her hands full.
Well, I don't blame her. I've, as you know, my sister and family live in Vancouver. I don't know if you've been, but it's a wonderful
never.
place.
But yeah, so many people have told me how amazing it is.
Yeah, this is very frustrating for Lust, and as you can see with the histrionics. But Whitlock, I've seen Whitlock play some fantastic matches here and there over the years. A couple against Alison Waters where she was just almost perfect in her tactics. And today's looking pretty similar, to be honest.
She really looks like she's researched the matches against Lusty, and she looks like she knows exactly what she's on there trying to achieve. And at the moment, it's all going for her.
Pardon? I'm sorry. Right side, 7-1.
I'm not exactly sure what she's.
No.
What's going on there?
Completely mistimed it. I couldn't actually hear what she was saying, but the referee's having none of it. 7-1, Whitlock. Emily's father, Phil Whitlock, will be watching this back in Colwyn Bay.
I think he'll be feeling quite relaxed at this stage.
8-1.
Reasonably.
And I think
it's looking good.
Yeah,
it's looking good.
Looking
but until his daughter shakes hands as the victor, he probably won't relax. But she's looking good, very good at the moment. I played against Phil a few times and was teammates with him for England, and he was always very meticulous as well in his preparation. can see that definitely in Emily.
Would you say that they're quite similar in their game styles?
Yeah, definitely some similarities. Definitely use of the height was a big thing for Phil, and it certainly is for Emily. She's got one of the best serves around, that's for sure. I've always talked about her serve. She really takes her time.
Victoria's just trying to up the pace a little bit here, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. She's got to do that, hasn't she?
Yeah, she
10-1, game ball.
She's got to change it up a little bit, take it early, and use a bit of disguise, delay, deception, but it's...
She really needs to unsettle Emily, doesn't she?
Yeah.
With changes the pace.
But 9 game balls here now for Emily Whitlock.
Not up. Sorry, no let.
Not up and no let. Emily Whitlock, both girls struggling to get out of the court. Somebody needs to get to the door quicker. Wow. Both desperate to leave the court for the different reasons, of course. But it's Emily Whitlock that wins the second game comfortably, 11-1 in 7 minutes. She leads by 2 games to love. So Victoria Lust all at sea, really. Difficult to... she's finding it difficult to work out a game plan against a very, very focused Emily Whitlock, who is hardly putting her foot wrong. Every shot she's hitting is hit with purpose. She's finding the corners and the ball is going exactly where she wants it to go.
Whitlock leads 2 games to love. Love all.
Yeah, going back to the cockapoo chat. I've got a cockapoo, as you know, called Brian.
One love.
The Whitlock family have 2 cockapoos, Diesel and Floppy.
Well, if they're as lovely as Brian, then they'd be gorgeous.
You weren't very happy with him last time we stayed at your house.
Well, he had a few accidents, didn't he, Parky?
He was only a pup.
He's very cuddly.
Yeah, he's very cuddly. Wonder if they'll be avidly watching with Phil back at home, wanting to chase the ball.
I'm sure they're in training too.
Now, 1-0.
I think Lucy's her body language here is she's just come onto this court. I mean, she has to do something to break Emily's rhythm, and she just seems like she's kind of tried to up her body language, get the pace up.
Yeah.
At the start of this game, so we'll see how she.
Oh
no.
my word! Oh my word.
I think
And
I think it's Emily's day.
Definitely. She had that nick earlier as well, didn't she? The dead nick off the volley cross court.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're playing well, it just seems to go your way. And you're right. I think Leslie was trying to be a bit more positive. It's all you can do, isn't it? Otherwise, you're just completely beaten.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
2-all.
I think, and like you say, you do make your own luck. So Emily's playing really well here. She's been really clinical, hitting her targets, and been really positive and proactive in her rallies. And you do make your own luck. So you hit the nick, but you have to put the ball near that nick.
Yeah. That's well played. Well played.
And out.
Margin for error, but nice and tight. She's taking it so well. Look how far in front of her body that racket head is going through the ball.
She's making herself pretty large around that middle.
Down.
So, of course, as we said, young Jazz Hutton is waiting in the semi-finals for the winner of these two. It's looking increasingly like it's going to be Emily Whitlock, and the other semi-final is Sarah Jane Perry and Millie Tomlinson. How do you see that one going?
But I didn't see it, but by the sounds of it, Millie had quite a long 3-2.
She had a very long 3-2 and a very good game it was against Lucy Tamal, who had every chance of winning. Just got pipped at the post, really.
And SJ also had a 5-set match.
Yep, she had a
Julianne
tough one.
Cortese, was it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
4-2.
Cortese also had a great chance of winning. She played a phenomenal game. Very, very skillful at the front of the court.
Yeah,
and
she
quick.
really is. Yeah. It's an interesting one, I think. I mean, SJ's a formidable competitor, tactician. Millie's a great athlete. And pretty
So you sit on the
feisty on
fence.
there. Hey,
Are you sitting on the fence?
a little bit, yeah.
I want a winner. I want you to pick a winner.
I would probably, if I was a betting girl, I would bet SJ to win.
Yeah, I
And
think
out.
so.
5-3.
I think she's gonna pick up a game. But that won't be worrying these two at this point.
Another absolutely stonkingly tight shot there.
Is that what you say to your pupils? Just get it stonkingly tight.
And out. 4-5.
Just starting to hear the heavy breathing now. It's always Emily Whitlock. You can always hear when she's pushing hard.
Yeah, she does. She is quite a loud breather, but she does keep going.
Yeah, it's certainly not a lack of fitness.
No.
Down.
That's quite frustrating for Victoria because she's actually put together some much better rallies, but Emily just keeps soaking up the pressure and coming back with another great shot option, another great rally, and the occasional one that probably Victoria Lust is feeling that's a little bit fluky, and it'll be frustrating her.
Yes, left. Yes, left.
Yeah, she's cancelled it.
Play review.
She's cancelling the review.
No? Okay. Yes, left. 6-4. Right side.
Dear me. And she knew she was clutching at straws, really. It's a little bit pointless.
Emotions are running high on there, I think, and her initial reaction after she had a couple of seconds to think about it changed her mind.
No left.
I mean, there's quite a bit of interference there, I felt. You could actually see it. You could actually see the interference.
I think the referee might have just thought that she'd actually got through, so even though there was interference, she'd actually got through and
Accepted
probably
it.
should have,
Accepted the
played a
interference.
shot.
I hate that phrase. Well, no, you created your own interference. That's the worst one.
Oh, that one hurts.
See that? How am I creating my own interference?
On that angle, it doesn't really look like there is too much, actually.
This one, it looks like there's a little bit more just there, but...
No, I think it's a no-let.
Sorry?
I think it's a no-let.
Yeah.
No let.
We've got to encourage people going to play the ball.
And out 5-6.
Kind of unusual in that rally that Emily just left the ball a little bit short, and Victoria Lust just kind of took advantage, whipping in a quick boast.
And that's better as well. Just a little bit of wrist, something different from Lust when she gets the opportunities, but she's just not getting many. That's the beauty of this performance so far from Whitlock. She's just closing the court down perfectly. Strong shot, wasn't it? Just ended up being quite tight on the sidewall.
Yeah, I think it just kind of got tighter at that moment.
At the crucial point. We've all done it. I thought, why did I volley that?
Stroke to Lust. 8-7.
So it's the first time in this match, really, that Victoria Lust has challenged Emily, and we've got crucial moments here now.
Yeah, and credit to her for that, because it was looking pretty dire at one point, and it's still difficult. Of course, she's 2-love down, but she's got a chance now. She's got at least a chance of getting this third. Pretty crucial rally coming up now. I mean, if Victoria can take this one, it might just create a few little nerves, not nerves. She's not going to be nervous, Emily, but you know, worries that Victoria can get back into this match now.
Video referee decision.
Always passed on the clammy baton. Hospital pass for the video referee. I thought she was through there. There's hardly any interference, is there? There's less interference here than the other one.
The ball's quite away from Victoria,
yeah,
really.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's away from Victoria. It's not the greatest shot, but it's just there's no interference.
Yeah, I thought she could have got a racket on it and played it, really.
She had to attempt to play that, so 2 game balls.
Video referee 10-8 game ball.
Victoria Lust just checking up on the referee, keeping him honest. He was actually correct. So 2 game balls here for Lust. Vancouver-based English woman. Also, if she can convert this game, she'll just get that little bit of confidence back that she can actually do this.
Oh,
Wow.
that's a great length.
Absolute perfection from Whitlock. Second bounce in the nick. It was hit with some ferocity as well. And again, she just doesn't go away, Emily Whitlock. So competitive, and she's back in it now in the tie break. Both get their reviews back. That's excellent play from Emily Whitlock.
11-10, match ball.
First time I saw Whitlock play was when she won. It was in the final of the British Under-17 Open, and she won that. And it's obviously quite rare in this day and age that we get many English winners. Is that probably about seven years ago, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, if you... Oh, dear.
12-11, game ball.
I was impressed with her then in terms of her determination and...
Yeah, she's really tough.
Yeah.
You have to be. You have to be at the British Junior Open against all the sort of Egyptian competitors, and I mean, they're fierce.
Yes, left.
Yeah, it's the right decision. It was slightly loose, but it was coming through fast, so it was only going to be a reaction shot from Whitlock. Correct decision. Yeah, nowadays, I mean, there are still a lot of Egyptians, but there's a lot of Americans coming through.
Yeah, it's nice to see.
Especially in the women's game.
It's nice to see that the game's really kind of taken off in the States, or it has been for a number of years, but there's some great players coming through.
Yeah, a lot of good talent coming from India as well, and Malaysia.
And out, 12 all.
Well, that was a good call from the referee. Did you think that was up?
Well, my initial thought was
Yeah,
when I saw it, I thought it was up, yeah, but the fact that she conceded, I think that perhaps she must have felt it was, felt it was not up.
Match ball.
There's the heavy breathing of Whitlock. She's near that mic in the back left. She's got one match ball here in this tie break. She would dearly love to win it in 3 if she could. So important if you're trying to win a tournament. But
great racket head speed from Victoria Lust on that shot.
Well, that's what she can do. She's quite talented at the front, isn't she? But she hasn't had many opportunities to show it. Ooh, speculative ask.
I'm not quite sure why she was asking for that, really.
Well, it's dangerous, you know. Some referees could give a no let for that.
I felt like she was in position to play it, so. Slightly tentative in taking that short then.
Oh, good pick up from Lust. Oh, tentative there as well. Not getting the whole of the strings through the ball there, the racket head. It's not quite following through enough, and it's given Lust another chance to take this third. she's done it.
15-13.
Very impressive from Lust. It's certainly not the one of her best performances, but
15-13,
in
game
terms
to
of
loss.
recovering
Whitlock leads 2
mentally,
games to 1.
it's pretty impressive that she got that third game.
Yeah, because she really did look at sea. So the fact that she has got herself back into the match is quite a big
It's
a big
a
deal
big
for
thing,
her,
especially
yeah.
after losing that second 11-1. So Victoria Lust takes the third game, 15-13 in the tiebreak in 17 minutes. But Emily Whitlock leads by 2 games to 1. Yeah, it was a bit of a topsy-turvy game, this one. Victoria Lust fighting for her life, really. Still feeling towards the beginning of the game that luck wasn't going her way, but as you pointed out, Sarah, the body language was a lot better at the beginning of the third, especially considering she'd lost the second 11-1. She looked down and out, but I guess it's a sign of class and experience that you keep fighting and you don't leave the court until the fat lady sings, and she's taken that third game and given herself a chance in this match.
Seconds. Time. Whitlock leads 2 games to 1. Lust to serve. Love all. No let.
Thoughts now, Sarah?
One love.
The landscape has changed quite a bit now.
Yeah, I think they'll both be feeling really positive at this stage still. I mean, Emily will be a bit disappointed to have lost that last game, but she is 2-1 up. And then Lusty will be feeling, you know, really much better than she has done in the previous games because she's back in it. She's managed to break through, and that's the hardest thing sometimes, is when it's not going your way, is to break through and find a way into a match, which she has done here.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of lesser players would have just given up the ghost, wouldn't they?
Oh, definitely.
2 love down, especially the second game, 11-1.
But that's why these girls are ranked highly and have been ranked higher as well. You know, they are great competitors. They know how to win a squash match, and when the going gets tough, it's finding a plan B. And you know, if your natural game's not working, you do have to adjust. Every opponent's different.
Finds that Nick Whitlock even on the high drop shots, but she knew what she was doing there, that's for sure.
And out. 2-3.
So did Lust on that one. That was clinical.
Oh, she's
What a
so
finish.
dangerous around that kind of service box area, or even behind the service box. When she puts that straight drop in, it applies so much pressure.
Especially on the backhand.
Yeah,
I think she prefers the kill a little bit more on the forehand, but the backhand drop shot is lethal. A bit like Lucy Tamel, you missed that match, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
You've seen her play obviously a few times. She was lethal as well. I mean, she hardly missed. There's the shot through the legs.
Yes, let. No, it interfered with this shot. Yes, let. 4-2.
Good width and depth there from Whitlock. Perhaps the drop shot would have been good, but she's got a real knack of finding those corners.
Her weight of shot is really good, front and back. She really uses sort of a racket face and gets that backspin going. And what's great on a glass court as well, she plays quite a full length, so it's landing deep. Not really bouncing up too much in the back.
Lovely touch. Lovely touch. The hands up from Whitlock, but it was absolutely perfect, that drop shot. We'll see it a bit clearer here. Couldn't be any better, that one.
Yeah, that was a sweet drop shot.
Willstrop-esque, that one.
She will be proud of that one.
Oh dear. I think she's okay. She's just
Did she trip on Emily's
bit
feet? I'm not quite
flabbergasted
sure.
by her own clumsiness there. I'm not sure Emily was anything to do with that. Yeah, she'd already slipped.
Yeah. She hasn't really been doing too much of that during the match, has she, Lust?
What, the falling over?
The well, I meant the boast actually, but
Oh, another perfect drop shot. This time from Whitlock in the back of the court. He must have been watching Willstrop earlier. I'm sure he can do it with his eyes closed in his sleep. There again, it's not a bad shot.
And out, 5-7.
They're so frustrating, aren't they, when you're at full stretch and you play the back wall boast and it goes out because you've overcooked it.
yeah, I mean you don't really want to be playing a back wall boast. It's desperation, isn't it? Your last resort, but
it is. But when you get there and it's a real effort to get there and then you hit it out.
And out.
Some more heavy breathing right by the mic there. You're right though, I mean, same with Pete Marshall one. Even when he was a junior, even the first couple of rallies, he'd be breathing really heavy and hunched over, and then he'd beat you in 2 hours.
He certainly was an animal, Pete Marshall.
Still is.
Yeah. Oh, that was a slightly tentative change of mind, I think.
Video referee decision on the Whitlock.
Oh, hospital pass.
Appeal.
What do you think here, Parky?
I think stroke. I think when she wanted to play this shot here, if she's going to wind up and play a drive, she's going to clip Victoria less. She's too close. Loose shot.
Oof.
Yes, let. 9-6.
So I'm normally quite lenient as well compared to the referees, but not this time.
I do like how they're sort of changing the thinking on lets and strokes and no lets, though, because it definitely does make for better, more free-flowing squash, and you know the players are making every effort to play the ball most of the time.
Yeah, no, it's the review system and the way that the directive in terms of the PSA has really helped the game.
7-9.
And as you say, most of the time players are adhering to it, and if not, they're getting found out most of the time.
Yeah, no, it's good for the sport. It's going to take a while to trickle into local league squash, though, I think.
Oh, what a shot! That was good.
Saw the ball good.
Yeah, it was. I saw that very good, Sarah. What about you? Your eyes are a bit younger than mine.
They're not great, though, but I did see it good too.
I saw the ball good.
No, check it.
We can't check it because the video doesn't go to that height. No, you must carry on. It's the
Oh,
referee's
she's talking about an
decision, and I
earlier
saw
shot
the ball
which
good.
we were not aware of.
We don't have the technology to see.
Everything else I saw was okay.
I saw the ball
Yeah, I
good.
didn't pick up on anything else either.
And out, 10-7, match ball.
Absolutely furious, but there's nothing she can do. She's just got to knuckle down and get on with this rally now. She's 3 match balls down.
Stroke to Whitlock.
She's absolutely convinced that ball was out, Victoria Luss, but a very impressive performance from Emily Whitlock. She did everything right there. Tactics was spot on. So Emily Whitlock coming through 11-5, 11-1, 13-15, 11-7 in 47 minutes. She's through to the semi-finals. And she's going to have a word with Paul Walters, post-match interview.
Got a little bit feisty there, very competitive, and it really sort of shows what a great state women's squash is, particularly within this country. It's not just Egypt that are producing great players, but the ladies are producing some great contests as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Vicky Lust is a good player. She gets physical and makes it difficult the entire time. So I'm just glad we had a solid ref. I think he did a good job today, even though we both gave him a hard time. Thank you. And yeah, I'm just glad to get through.
Glad to get through, and obviously looking forward to tomorrow's match. You already know your opponent, obviously with Alison pulling out. So, Alison's unfortunately unable to play in the second semi-final that was scheduled today. So you'll be playing Jasmine. So yeah.
Okay. All right, 'cause that makes. I mean, I was supposed to practice with Alison this morning, and I got an email whilst I got here early and just had a knock, and they said Alison's not turning up. I thought maybe it's just too early for a 7 o'clock match. She might just warm up a bit later on, have a lie-in. Oh, that's a shame. I hope she's not out for too long, because that's not nice. We've got a busy period coming up, so. Oh, okay. I don't think I've played Jasmine before, maybe in like practice. We never played in a match. I might have played like a best of 3 with her once in like a training situation, so that'll be fun.
You never really, as a player, you never really want to look too far ahead. But obviously, last year you reached the final. That in itself was a disappointment, but also I'm sure a great experience. And I would imagine that the fighter that you are and the player that you are, you'll be doing everything you can to go one step further this year.
Yeah, I mean, last year was last year, and a lot's happened in between. and it's just nice to come back to somewhere where I had a good tournament and just see what I can do. It's not a PSA, it's not got any ranking points, but it's still important, so it's a different kind of feel. Yeah, I'm having a good time, so.
Well, we're glad you're having a good time. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation. Emily Whitlock.
So a very impressive performance there again from Emily Whitlock. As Paul Walters was saying, she got to the final last year, so she's obviously comfortable on this court. And after the first two, it seemed like it was going to be very comfortable. The second game being 11-1, but Victoria Lust showed her fighting spirit. It wasn't her best
supported by video referee Andrew Aldridge.
Welcome back to the British National Championships 2020. Back to the men's event. Richie Fallows of England versus Adrian Waller of England. Adrian Waller, of course, the highest seed, currently ranked 20 in the world. Coached by Paul Carter. 30 years of age now. Is seems weird to call him one of the veterans on tour, but he is a lot more experienced perhaps than Richie Fallows. He's had a few years on the circuit, had one of his best wins yet, taking out Tom Richards yesterday at Nottingham Squash Club, the Park. 3-love, which is pretty impressive. I didn't actually see that match, but my co-commentator David Campion did. Good evening, Camps.
Good evening, Parky.
You were very impressed with Richie Fallows yesterday.
Yes, he's always capable of a result. We know how capable Richie is. He just doesn't often produce that level. But yeah, he was pretty excellent, really, to be honest, last night.
Fallows of England to receive. Best of 5 games. Level.
Would you say it's a similar kind of prospect for him today against Waller, or is it a slightly stiffer test?
Yeah, I mean, Adrian's been in great form, and he of late. You know, he's top 20 now. I think he's an established top 20, and although he's not been there that long. His results suggest that he is. I mean, he was absolutely brilliant in Washington. You know, World Teams. Really stepped up.
Playing one, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he kind of in that company playing at one. There's obviously a bit of pressure that comes with that, but he stepped up and he beat Joel, beat Greg Marsh, pushed Farag to a certain extent in that final. Yeah, he was really pleased for him. I mean, he's a fantastic squash player. I think he's a little bit fitter now. Yeah, works very hard. He's very diligent. Good, good professional. So he does deserve some success, and I feel that he should be higher than he is. I've always felt that he's possibly been underranked or underachieved, perhaps not underranked, but should be higher.
Yeah, I mean, he's 30 years of age now, isn't he? He's been around on tour for at least 10 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's had some good wins along the way. I agree with you. I mean, he's a class player, but I think at times the main weakness has been temperament, hasn't it? Not in a kind of throwing the racket all over the place kind of way, but just a little bit too chatty with the refs. It's all good natured at the moment.
Well, they both like a chat.
That's for sure.
Adrian likes the last word, a bit like his father, if he's watching.
I've never met his dad, so
Ray.
I can't comment.
No, look, I mean, he's a great lad. Is Adrian? He works very hard. If anything, he can get a bit involved sometimes, but not in a disrespectful way as such. But he just likes to have a comment and have a say.
Bit of a moan.
Yeah.
Well, we all do, don't we? At times, we all have a bit of a moan.
2-1.
And I was just about to say, I think one thing that he's probably worked on is the error count. Having just said that though, he just
Just as he slapped the tin, yeah.
middle of the tin. But yeah, I mean, I think, particularly against the top 10 guys, he's always a threat and a handful, and perhaps in that kind of 40-50 minute mark, being a bigger guy, probably not quite physical enough for that top level. Then the confidence starts to spiral downwards a little bit, and the errors come in. You start to force it and so on. But I think he's definitely addressed that in the recent period.
We'll just go through this review situation. Richie Fallows, the first one of the match. Richie's probably still trying to work out how it works. It was a decent length, wasn't it?
Yeah,
But
great shots at the back there. Great, found the corner, didn't he? Got the ball running. Just a simple yes let. I think there's no way through.
but the shot was good, wasn't it? But obviously not good enough in your mind. So
I think Adrian was on his way. There wasn't a line to the ball there really. I think that was fair.
Adrian's coach over the years, and still, has been Paul Carter. He's worked with Adam Fuller as well. But he's a very different player to Paul Carter, isn't he?
What, you mean he's got some flair?
Yeah.
3-4.
Although I always say this, in the last year or so of Paul Carter's career, he actually probably didn't win as much, but he was playing much better squash.
But he had to, I think.
Yeah, that's probably, as you slow down, you start working out the front of the court. I mean, you worked that out from about 8 years old, but not everyone has your flair.
Well, he was a hell of a competitor, his Carts.
Yeah.
I think it's great because he works with quite a few of the players down at the Berkhamsted hub that we have, the performance hub down there, with Adam Fuller. Good training group. Was down there last week, and some really good sessions going on. 3 days a week. So that Alison and Richie's been in there a little bit. Ben Coleman. So it's a good group, a good stable of players.
4-3. From the right, please.
So a decent start from Richie. 1 or 2 traffic issues already, but
Yeah, I think we're going to have to expect that. A bit like the Selby Parker match. I thought that was going to descend a little bit, but Parker was very impressive. Selby perhaps a little bit below par. See, but quite a big scare yesterday, really.
yeah, I'm sure that probably, without him realising, it had an impact. I mean,
Yeah.
well, he played with glasses on today. I've never seen him do that since the
Yeah.
Commonwealth Games.
Well, he's
but
gonna
he has to.
do it. I don't know if you spoke to him after the match, but
Yeah.
I spoke to him briefly, and he said he's gonna pretty much 100% carry on with it.
Yeah, well, clearly a big shock for him.
Yeah.
With what happened. But yeah, I mean, look, as he said, taking nothing away from George. I thought George was excellent. I thought he had that little bit of intensity and pace about him and severity. And I think Darryl
time.
was able to absorb, particularly on the glass court. George was looking strong. I thought he played well.
Okay, yeah, watching.
What have I done wrong?
Yes, let 4-3.
Can I just ask what I'm doing wrong? Like, I don't feel like I'm doing much wrong there.
I just gave you an explanation.
Is that the voice of Jason Foster again?
Well, Jason in the chair. Plays a bit of squash, bit of masters, I think.
Yeah, actually.
Decent junior. Good ref, actually.
Was teammates with him in.
I do apologise, that was a technical issue, so play left.
He's very polite.
Just wait whilst I sort this issue out. We'll wait for you, that's fine. 4-3. Ready? Thank you, gentlemen.
He does. I think I was saying this earlier. Actually, he does have a good way with the players, perhaps because he's played at a pretty high level himself, and he understands that.
Yeah.
I do think it's important to
5-3.
not wind the players up. Of course.
Yeah, he's firm, isn't he? I
Yeah.
mean, he'll do it in a decent, humanistic way. I think he'll keep Richie in check here.
Yeah. And the players, they're on there, and it's one of the hugest, biggest days of their lives, and the heart rate's 180, 190. I'm saying this, there's no excuse for abusive behaviour, but sometimes you do get a bit tetchy on there. Oh, wow.
4-6.
Clever.
Yeah, it was completely wrong footing him. I thought he might do that, but obviously it's a little bit easier to see from here.
Yeah, I think if Richie's going to stand any chance here, he's got to play with some intensity, like he is here. Step up, get in front, rip the ball around Adrian. Big guys don't like to be twisted and turned and have to move at pace. When you big frame, it's the heavier movements. So obviously, as you go in lower and going quicker, it's harder to get out. I mean, Adrian's a strong boy, as you can see. The energy cost is high when you're a heavier frame.
Yeah, and that's all we were commentating earlier, weren't we? Declan James and James Willstrop. That's what Declan James didn't do enough of against.
Well,
Willstrop.
yeah, I thought he had a little spell, didn't he, in the second when he came back. But apart from that phase, there wasn't really enough of that going on. I thought I think Declan will be disappointed by his performance, and when he looks back, I'm sure there'll be some learning going on with Nick and some self-reflection.
Do you know back to this match? Do you know the head-to-head between these two?
I don't really play that much, really. I'm not.
It's 0-0.
Oh right, I was going to say I can't really recall. Ooh, dramatic.
Yeah, it's a full-on dive. You need a bit of a wipe, I think. Actually, didn't get it that wide, did he? Wallet.
No.
But it was didn't need to be. I mean, he was totally out of position there, Fallows.
Yeah, no complaints from Richie there. I mean, Adrian, it's just where Richie left it. Adrian had to make some room for himself.
And out 7-5.
So the rally length is quite short, isn't it? Not too much going, too much attrition going on at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're both pretty attacking, aren't they? And it's a glass court as well.
Richie put his hand up, but there was nothing wrong with that pick up. It's good play.
Yeah, it's clever.
Very good.
Very impressive.
Well, he's got Adrian moving into corners at pace, which is what he needs to do.
Quite clinical at the front of the court, and especially in that front left now. Richie Fallows.
Yeah, it's good work. I mean, he's hitting the corners, isn't he? Just got hold of Adrian here a little bit. Yeah, they need to encourage players to play that, really. I think that should be a yes let with a warning.
Yeah, I mean,
Play those.
It's,
Otherwise,
it's loose, but he's clear, isn't he?
yeah,
He's clear. That's the. There's 2 points when you're looking at was it a stroke, a let or a no let, and that is where is the ball and where is the striker.
yeah. I mean, there was no real safety issue there.
No.
I mean, these guys can play, play a lot of things that they don't often attempt to.
Well, absolutely. I mean, if if you have a game of fun doubles or practice doubles, whatever you want to call it, top players like these, skillful players, can play it, millimeters past your ear roll, and it's going to be safe.
Yeah, it looks like he's getting his tactics right here. He's trying to rush Adrian. Poor error.
Yeah, you can rush someone, but that was just a bit of a snatch, really, wasn't it? Just trying to force it a little bit.
Crucial time as well. I mean, to give him a 2-point buffer right at the business end. Such a simple giveaway, wasn't it?
Real lightning reflexes here from both players. Well, it was a lot of flashing around from both players, slashing at the ball.
I don't know why Richie thinks that should have been a stroke, but I think a let ball is a fair decision.
Yeah, I agree.
These guys do train together quite frequently. I think Adrian will obviously be very aware of the dangers that Richie can pose to, with what he can do. It's just the consistency throughout the match that, I think Adrian will be looking to weather the storm a little bit and just make it hard and make it physical. It did come back a little bit, but I think it was just so early. Richie got onto that so early, and
He got the angle as well, didn't he? Just clipped the side wall, ended up very short. So just 1 point adrift now, Fallows. Creeping back at the business end, as you say. Should have dropped that, Camps.
yeah, he's doing a decent job of getting in front of Adrian, but
It's not always it's carry. Not always capitalising. So 2 game balls in this first for Adrian Waller. Yeah, an impressive first game in the end. It's pretty close, nip and tuck between these two. It's Waller, the more experienced player, coming out on top. 11-8 in 17 minutes. He leads by 1 game to love.
Yeah, just a little bit of a scratchy start, a few decisions and a bit of talking between both players at the start here. But yeah, Richie came out strong, playing with good intensity. Yeah, really asking a few questions here of Adrian. 17-minute first game, so by no means an easy one. I think Adrian will be happy, though, that he managed to weather a little bit of a storm, put some decent rallies together, and just managed to close out the game to lead 1-love, 11-8.
Seconds. One leads, one game to love. Love all.
So as England coach, I know you can't be biased in any way, but if you were the personal coach of Richie Fallows, what would you be saying to him in the last interval?
Brain transplant. No, I don't mean, I mean joking
For
aside.
you?
Yeah, I don't mean in this particular match. I just think that he, when he switches on, he's got the capacity to play at a very, very high level.
As he did yesterday.
Yeah, he's genetically blessed, very, very gifted physically. Yeah, needs to work a lot more consistently, and you can see that. I mean, you are what you train, and with more focused kind of day-to-day work in the right areas. Yeah, I mean, I think we'd see a lot more from Richie. But he's 24 now. He's not 21. He's been ranked around the 50 area, between 50-60 for probably 3-4 years.
He got it there pretty quick. He was looking good, wasn't it, when he was 18, 19 and flying at those rankings, but then never pushed on. And you were talking about Waller being underranked. I think that's
not necessarily underranked. Just
underachieving.
Capacity to be higher.
Yeah, that's definitely the case with Fallows.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's ranked where he is for a reason. He's not consistent. The rankings don't lie. Shot. But no, he's a good player. He's got a lot of intensity when he puts it together. The problem with him is that because he's not consistent in his weekly work, then what happens here is there's fluctuations all the time, and that's not just in results, but in rally to rally. Putting some great stuff, and then it's very hard to be confident. I mean, where does confidence come from? It comes from your background, and you can't lie to yourself. And I'm saying these things here that I wouldn't. I've said all this to Richie. He knows. He knows this.
Well, you have to.
Yeah.
As a coach and as the England coach, you have to be brutally honest, don't you, with the players?
Look, and I'd love Richie, as much as anyone, for him to succeed and be a success, because I rate him and I really like him as well. It's just when somebody isn't achieving because it's in his control. That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's 24 years of age now, and maybe this is his year. I know that when I was coming through, it took me. I had a lot of good results, 18, 19, and it took me, I think, till about 23, I reckon. So a good 5 years on the tour before I properly matured. And I don't know, probably me and Richie are quite different characters, but in terms of consistency of of work. I think I was probably a bit guilty of that as well at times.
Yeah, I mean, interesting because we've had a coaching summit here for the last 2 days. But I had kind of 50 coaches in over the last couple of days, and one of the keynote speakers was a lady from the military, and she's a commander in the military, and she talked a lot about developing the individual and how sport and being on the battlefield, it's very similar. It's under pressure. It's a lot of self-discipline, a lot of courage, integrity, honesty, and she did talk about developing resilience, and they prepare for scenarios in battle. And if you've done it in training, if you haven't done it in training, you can't expect to do it on the battlefield, and nothing's a surprise to them. So they train under extreme conditions, like they'll go without sleep or sleep deprivation or food and things like that. And I mean, to them it's life and death. But it's the same with the training. If you haven't done the work off the court or on the court, it's you can't expect to then produce that level day in, day out.
Yeah, and is Richie getting that? Is he understanding that?
Well, I think he knows it. It's actions, isn't it? It's having that determination, discipline, self-discipline to go and do it, to get out of bed every day and do the right things and prepare and have the right kind of foods inside you, the fuel to be able to train effectively, and having a good base as well, somewhere where you can go and it's not complicated. I think Richie can make things a little bit complicated. He travels around a lot and moves around, and look, he really wants to be a top player. I think he just needs to learn how, and
maybe he will. And I mean, even though he's 1-11, 4-2 down, he's playing well in general. He's having a good tournament so far.
Yeah, I mean, he was, like I say, he was excellent last night. I was really pleased for him against Tom. I mean, he was consistent all the way through the match. The level that he played was very high, and there was no slip in that or dip throughout. It was very, very good to see, really. Just would like to see more of that from him, but as we say, it's got to come from the daily work.
Just clipped.
How was this? Hand out. 3-5. What's the problem there? Is it bleeding? I can't see very well from there. Jasmine, you don't want to like that? Okay, right? I'll come down and have a look.
This is comical.
Initially, blood break for Mr. Fallows. Yes, as long as he needs.
I thought you said something about cleaning. Obviously, talking about bleeding. My hearing's not so good.
Some sort of blood injury. Referee will head down and just have a look and just see what's going on.
He's still at the top there. It's not moving like he used to, Jason Foster.
Well, Adrian just having his say. Not quite sure what's going on, but we'll soon find out.
I'm always having this conversation with Joe Barrington that the blood injury should be
Oh, he hates it, doesn't he?
defunct.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, it's crazy, isn't it? We had a situation in Washington with a blood injury, and I mean, for the sake of the match, you just want it to carry on. I mean, as long as it's not like pouring out. I mean, I think the rule is that if it actually you clean it up and if it shows through again, even if it just shows through the bandage or
You've lost.
I mean, it's just crazy. So I just said to Amir Waghi, the Egyptian coach, look, just do what you can to stop it. I think it was a nosebleed. But if it happens again, we're happy for you to just come off and try and sort it. And then if it happens again, then obviously there's a bit of an issue because it's then affecting us that we have to hang around so long, and it's not our fault. But we gave them ample opportunity to sort it. but that wasn't it. That's not what the rule states. You know, we were quite within our rights to force the rule, and for the sake of the game and the match and the quality that was being played, you know, you want a true result, don't you? And the big crowd and
Yeah. You don't want to win that way, do you?
no, and it was such a good final, and I mean, the local, the owners of the club that put the venue, that provided the venue and the sponsorship, and you know, the last thing you want to be doing is, TV's there and everything. It's just.
No, I think that was the right decision. Do you remember in the final of the World Juniors when we played each other and when I got a nosebleed?
Yeah.
You could have won that. You'd taken that.
Yeah, I was working. You worked really hard. I was working everywhere, wasn't I?
Hottest day ever recorded up to that point in Germany.
Yeah. Final of the World Juniors, 1990, wasn't it?
Yeah. 1904.
Really long first game, and was it in the second you got the nosebleed?
It's the first or second. I was actually really worried because the rule then was the same as it is now.
Well, it shows how archaic it is.
Yeah, and I was just genuinely worried. I mean, you know, at the end of your culmination of your junior career and the most important junior tournament, and you think that it's going to be all over. Luckily, managed to stem it.
So it's a typical match, wasn't it? You were running everywhere, and then eventually wheels fell off, didn't they?
Yeah, it's happened every time. Could have got your only win there, Camps.
Like a little rocket man, weren't you?
Elton John. It's only, I don't know, we're not old, are we? It's only 30 years ago.
Yeah. Can't believe that wheel's still going though. Bleeding injury.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Knees changing.
I mean, where's the blood? Where's the bandage? Any blood?
Well, we can't see here.
Is it a scratch?
Very hard to see. I mean, he's pointing to his foot, or I don't know if there's the shin area or the calf, and he's just hitting it with the sock. That was a phenomenal return. Poor serve, but look at the power he hit this. It's just absolutely rolled.
Yeah, great execution.
Yeah, you don't leave the ball there on the forehand of Waller.
Yeah, he can put it away. He's got a lethal hold on that forehand as well. I mean, if he ends up coming through this, and I mean, obviously Joel's got to play Alan Clyne next, and the winner of that will play the winner of this. But if that is the semi-final, Adrian's got a good record. You know,
well, as you say, he beat. If Joel Makin came through, he beat him recently, didn't he? In Washington. Good finish there from Fallows. Good awareness.
5-6.
Very good awareness. Crowd appreciating that one.
Yeah, he's got a very good hold on the forehand, particularly the forehand of Adrian. He has that late hit, the ability to make late decisions, shows the options, good footwork, gets himself in position, and the ability to play several shots from the same setup. So that doesn't set, particularly athletes like Joel, who are very physical, and the biggest asset is probably their movement and their speed. And if you can stop somebody and not give the visual clues, which Adrian's very good at that. I think that's why he's had some decent success with Joel. That was a fantastic shot.
Yeah, that's the right decision from Jason Foster. And he came, it's a little bit of top spin or side spin, came around the back of the ball there, just ran it in tight and low.
Yeah, great hands.
Chance. Yeah, great hands. No chance of a let there.
Yeah, I don't think Adrian can expect too much out of that one. Another good phase for Richie.
Richie's actually in our Yorkshire Premier League side for Alison first team.
Has he played much?
He's played a couple of times, but he hasn't played like this, I have to say.
Tough rally.
And out, 7-6.
Opted for the counter drop, but just rolled over it a bit too early. It's a fairly crucial point here. 8-6-2 as opposed to 7-all.
Yeah, quite updated the score there in the graphics. 8-6 Waller.
Yeah, it's the right decision.
The ball sat up. Please can I have a review?
Player review, Fallows on the
I think he needed to go and get that, Parky.
Yeah, it did sit up, and
There was a little bit of contact, but got to ask players to go and get that.
there was actually quite a lot of contact, but the distance, it's on the tee, and the ball's in the back corner, so you've got to accept that and go round, haven't you?
Well, you want to see movement pattern.
Yeah.
You know, you can't expect to just run into the back and, like you say, a lot of
Too
distance.
much distance.
Yeah.
8-6. Yes, it is.
I mean, these guys are. He's clever enough to know that that's not going to be a let if he stops and asks. I mean, very surprised that he.
I mean, he's very upright there. I know a lot of the shots that Waller plays are quite deceptive from an upright position, and he's obviously tall, but it's very close to that as well,
Yeah,
wasn't
he didn't really drop in, sink into the shot there. It wasn't really on, was it, the way he played it?
No. Good dig.
Clever again from Richie. He's using that hold well on the forehand side.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's the same thing as what he did there, man. Double standards.
Left side, just balance there, 7-8.
Such double standards, man.
Well, he's not going away, is he, Richie?
No, absolutely not. He's putting in a good stint here.
Good work from Adrian. Great pickup.
Video referee, please check Mr. Fallows' pick up on the front left.
I didn't really see anything wrong with that. So the referee just checking the pickup. Yeah, it's good, Parky. I think Adrian's acknowledging that. Adrian telling the referee it was all right.
All balls are good.
Well, Adrian repeatedly telling the referee that it was good. Can we play on? Like they were listening to him.
I like that though when the player it's kind of against realises, puts hands up and says it was good.
Well, he just wanted
Let's get on
checking,
with
didn't he? I mean,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of technology. You've got the evidence there in front of you, and the players can see it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't, it's such a fast game, isn't it? You don't always genuinely know yourself.
10-8.
poor error from Richie.
It's just the wrong shot, really. I feel at that point in time.
Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he, throughout the game, and that was very costly.
That's a good shot from Richie. It was
Yeah,
quite long, wasn't it? It wasn't like a really short drop. It was like a quick sort of drop shot kill in a way.
Yeah, I mean, his movement to the front is very good here. He's really getting onto the ball, and I think that speed of movement to the front, and then the differences that he's showing, it's definitely quite a lot to handle.
There's hardly any take back on that forehand side from Waller.
This could be no let, yeah.
Yeah, it was clear.
It's the right decision, I think.
He was so fast to clear there, and the ball he was just ready to hit.
Well, just out the way, wasn't he, like a shot?
Yeah, he was.
I mean, look how quickly he got out the way here.
You see it really well from there. Yeah, I think that's the right decision.
Well, he needed to hit that. He either needed to ask a lot earlier. Yeah, he's through to hit that. I don't know why he didn't hit it. Probably would have won the point. Just straight down the line.
Straight down the line would have been a winner, wouldn't it?
Well, Richie was still getting out of the way.
He had to fly off to the other side to clear. Yeah, poor decision from Waller.
No left, decision uphill. Right side, 10 all.
Did we check the pickups, Clyne?
Excuse me?
Did we check the pickups? There was one.
Yes, I've just asked them to check the pickup.
Yeah, just one pick-up in that rally. I think Adrian's just asking for it to be checked. But I think all the balls were good there. Yeah.
That was fine, wasn't it?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
All pickups is good. 10 all. Player must win by
Yeah,
2
he's
points.
moving very well, is Richie.
Review available. Yes. Stroke to Waller. Doing his swing there, Mr. Fallows.
It's unlucky.
11-10, game ball.
Yeah, just clipping the nick between the side wall and the front wall, coming out in the middle.
It's good pressure from Adrian, but from that position, he just needs to defend it, just go up and lift and get the ball away again.
Yeah, another game ball for Waller, and it's taken him one attempt in this tie break.
I'm not quite
Fallows
sure why.
furious with Jason Foster. So Adrian Waller takes the second game in a tie break, 12-10 in 22 minutes. He leads by 2 games to love.
Well, it was a solid game from Richie there, asking a lot of questions of Adrian. Adrian just managing to win the important rallies, of course, and that's why he's managed to secure the second game. But some good squash played here from both players. Richie really getting onto the ball, showing some good intensity throughout that game. And this is a real test for the higher seed, Adrian, and he managed to close that one out on a tie break, and he now leads 2 games to love.
seconds. One of these 2 games to love. Double.
Well, Fallows really picking up the pace. Very helpful getting the ball back to Adrian Waller as soon as possible.
Yeah, he's got to play at pace, but with control like that ball there. He just charged in. Just needs maybe to perhaps lift that, reset, and go again.
I was behind, he was never going to play that. I ran into it after he was ready to play it.
Yeah, seems a little bit of an easy stroke, really. I don't think Adrian just knew where he was more than anything.
I think he knew exactly where he was.
That was a soft stroke.
Just see the good in people all the time, don't you, Caps?
Yeah, just that rally before where Richie just got onto it and put the volley in front right. You know, he needs to be doing a lot more of that. Just getting onto it, taking it early. He's got the capacity to do it. That's the thing. His physicality's, you know, he's got that kind of dynamic.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, he's got talent. He's got loads of talent. But there is, we've been talking about it a lot. There is also a talent of how you compose yourself and how you deal with things.
Yeah.
Between the ears, and that's where Richie needs to improve a lot. He's made some improvements. And it can always get better, and same with Waller. But you know, he's a bit longer in the tooth now, and he's learnt a few harsh lessons, hasn't he?
Yeah.
30 years of age now. I mean, Waller's had to, you know, he's got to 30 now, and he's had most of his career having to deal with, you know, the big three: Nick Matthew, James Willstrop, Daryl Selby. In terms of England male squash.
Well, and Pete Barker up till
3
years ago.
And you know, he's been sort of like the next group all the time, and in most countries he'd be the top dog, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Maybe apart from France and Egypt, but you know, he's a fantastic player.
Hand out 2-7.
Yeah, Richie's had a poor start here. Too many unforced errors, charging around a little bit too much. Composure that you're talking about. It's a big lead, especially when you're 2-love down.
Fallows 3-7.
So there's a response here. Adrian opting for a little bit of height just to try and remove Richie from the tee. Yeah, it was up.
Yeah, just a bit fortunate, really, wasn't it?
Hand out.
Well, I think he thought that was going down, didn't he?
I was saying earlier, it's to your missus actually. It's you're often more lucky, aren't you, when you're playing well?
Yeah, it seems to run your way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's, you know, good width on the cross court. I mean, that's the thing. When you catch the nick, and people say it was lucky, it's just good width, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if you hit good
the
width,
ball in sort of 100 times in that area,
it's gonna catch the nick.
Yeah, sometimes.
But it's like the serve down the middle when it catches the back of the net. Well, that's what you're aiming for. It's a small target, and you know, if you do that 10 times and hit it a couple, then it's not lucky, is it?
Yes, left. 5-8. Left side. Player review Waller on the yes left. Decision.
Surprised he's reviewing that really when he's.
Well, he's saying it's a winning drive. I'm not too sure about that really.
But also, it's just giving Richie a little bit of respite and time to reorganise. And
Yeah.
yeah, you've got the lead. You're close to the finish line.
It's not a winning drive.
And it's not a winning drive.
That's for sure.
I think Waller's probably asking the ref to look at the movement of Richie round, to maybe take a line behind, but you've got to also look at where the ball lands, and like you said, the quality wasn't quite there, was it?
I think that's the right decision. Good decision there to remain a yes let.
Well, it's a poor error. Richie's on the charge, and you'd expect Adrian, with his experience, to make sure that these rallies are hard now. It's a great shot.
7-8.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Fantastic technique there from Richie. Really got through the ball, through the strings.
Well, it's suddenly game on again, isn't it? From that big lead, that 7-1.
Yeah, he's played some good squash here, Richie, to get back. Oh, that was unlucky.
Oh.
I think he might have. That looks like cramp. Yeah, he's cramping. That's good. Good sportsmanship there from Adrian.
Appreciate what you're doing, Mrs. Waller, but if it's cramped, you need to play on.
Well, that is the rule.
That is the rule. It's a little bit harsh.
Can we have a court attendant, please?
It's just a funny how he landed on it, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. We'll see here. It's just awkward movement, and
9-7.
I think sometimes if you twist the toe the wrong way, that can really cramp up the calf.
It's not like he's under massive physical duress or anything like that.
No.
I think it's just an awkward movement, wasn't it?
Let's hope he can move properly here.
Down. And out. 8-9.
Yeah, it looks okay.
Well, you'd expect Adrian to put in a big rally here, really, but yeah, that was handed over quite quickly, wasn't it?
Losing his balance again here, Richie. He's got it.
It's a great pickup.
Ridiculous movement.
And out. 10-8.
Well,
Match ball.
can't fault him for trying here, Richie Fallows. He's trying everything, and a little wry smile from Adrian Waller. It's not often you see Waller smile on a squash court. So 2 match balls now for Adrian Waller for a chance to step into the semi-finals.
I think it was his shot though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was. I'm not sure actually.
I mean, he was onto
Yeah,
it like a
he did.
flash.
Yeah, he's making every effort to get to the ball. You're clearing the ball. It's just one of those things. No left. Well, you stop playing and you play the return. Hand out 9-10.
I think Adrian was probably quite shocked how quickly he was up onto that.
Yeah, yeah.
Took him by surprise, didn't it?
He was moving off it relatively slowly compared to the speed at
The
which
speed he came in at.
Fallows
Yeah.
was coming in. Hence why the racket went flying. So, one match ball save for Richie. Another one. Another one. This is interesting. It's gone into a tie break.
Each player has one review available.
It's going to be a good serve. Yeah, that's clever.
It's good skill.
The ball was absolutely dead there from Richie Fallows.
Well, look at the
Watch
racket
this.
face, how he just rolled over it.
Yeah, it was clever.
A little bit of top spin, ball died.
So game ball now for Richie Fallows. As you said earlier, he's not going away, which is it's a very good sign. There's been quite a bit of drama, cramping. Adrian Waller actually helping with the cramp.
Pace has gone up.
It really has.
Stroke to Fallows.
Oh,
Wow. Well, he's gonna review it.
Oh, hang on a sec. You have player review. Waller.
stay there, Richie.
Stroke decision. Back on court, please, Mr. Fallows.
Not quite sure why Richie's talking here.
Yeah, I mean, you
Just
talk
popped
about
out a little bit,
You,
didn't
you
it?
talk about not talking to the ref. There really is no point when it's going to a review. You just got to wait.
Well, it might stay as a stroke and he's just wasting his energy, isn't he?
He is. But they shouldn't be allowed to talk during the review, actually. Although, of course, the video ref is hidden away. They're actually talking to themselves.
I mean, Adrian will definitely not want to go into a fourth here.
He's going to have to.
Is it upheld?
Really good comeback by Richie Fallows. Some good play. I imagine some of the highlights that he was showing yesterday in his match against Tom Richards. But Fallows taking the third in the tie-break, 12-10 in 13 minutes. Waller leads by 2-1.
Well, Adrian off to a commanding start. Took a big lead to get to, I think it was 7-1. So the result was looking like it was going to be end of night for Richie Fallows. However, he launched a response, encouraging signs from him. Came back, showed a lot of intensity, a lot of pace, getting onto the ball with racket head speed. Played some really good stuff, and you know, Adrian will be very disappointed that he wasn't able to close that out, especially when he had such a huge lead in that game. But yeah, so Richie closed that out in the tie break, 12-10, and that now takes it into a fourth game with Adrian leading 2-1.
Waller leads 2-1. Fallows serve. Lovell.
So you, Camps, you know these players a lot better than I do in terms of relationships, coaching relationships with them for a long period of time. What are your thoughts now? Wow, can we just...
Yeah, well, he absolutely ripped that, didn't he?
I'd love to have a speed gun on that one. Sure, that absolutely flew.
Just creamed it, didn't he?
Yeah. And that's
I mean, he's got some talent. you
Yeah.
know, he's a danger. I mean, when he puts it together, like we say, if he could just, and it's always a big if, and players have big ifs about lots of different things, but yeah, he can play. He can really play. And Adrian's well aware. I mean, they train together. He'll be well aware of what Richie's capable of. And this is an impressive start from Richie. He's come out the blocks. I mean, the pace that he's forcing Adrian, some of the movements he's making him do at pace. You know, even though they're not particularly long drawn-out rallies, it's quite an intensity that.
oh, huge. He's absolutely flown out of the blocks, like Usain Bolt in this fourth game. And it's what he needed to do, really, to just create a bit more pressure, a bit more concern in the mind of Adrian Waller.
And again, great backhand technique on that shot there. I think his foot just caught Richie's.
But pretty innocuous, though. Well, there was always going to be a little bit of talking in this match, wasn't there, with the referee?
Yeah. 2-4. Yeah, I'd expect with Adrian's experience and yeah, he would obviously the quality that he has, that he should be able to re-establish himself and assert himself here now. But
that was absolutely clinging. It's very tagged.
5-2.
good pace that Richie's playing at. He's just got to be careful that he doesn't overdo it. He's got to learn to reset and then go again and keep going in phases.
Oh, wow. I mean, everything's working for him, isn't it, at this point? I mean, that was a tight ball.
Yeah, I mean, he's taking a few risks, isn't he?
Yeah. It's a bit like the scenario with George Parker earlier against Darryl Selby. Obviously, it worked out well for him in the end, but there was a couple of tricky areas. That's not going to be a let.
This is a member announcement. Will the member using locker 226 please contact reception?
So he's asking for let on the announcement now.
And out 3-6.
Something about his car?
I thought they were talking about a locker, actually. But
no, he's saying that's my car.
Oh, right.
Taking it early again, on the rise. Ball's hardly bouncing.
That's tight work from Waller.
Well, he needed to stem the flow, didn't he? There's a barrage of shots coming in from Richie. A lot of pace, a lot of racket head speed. Taking the ball on the rise as well, Parker. You know, he's not waiting for the top of the bounce. He's getting in onto the ball very early. You're rushing Adrian. Yeah, see what you think here, Parker. I think it's a little bit harsh.
Yeah, I think that's a let ball, at least. Poor shot, actually, or average shot from Adrian Waller. Ball's travelling slowly from the left-hander, and Richie Fallows is his only line through. I think that's a let ball.
I think the thing that worked against him a little bit is perhaps the the fact that he tried to wrap his racket around him.
Yeah, referees don't
I mean,
like that.
he was heading that way and he was going to pick it up, but you know that makes it look like you're a bit desperate and you're looking for the stroke and looking for the man.
Important runner points for Waller now. He was struggling a bit at the start of this fourth. Fallows was playing incredibly well.
Well, he either just drops his racket or it's knocked out. You can see the collision, but.
You need the racket.
Right side, 7-6.
It doesn't really matter that he caught the ball in his hand. It's just
It's more
whether he
the
let the
fact-
racket go or not.
But it does actually look like Waller's swing did take the racket out of Fallows' hand. But he was in front, wasn't he? He was in a control position. You could argue that it was a stroke to Waller, because on his downswing he hit part of Fallows or the racket.
Double hit. Double hit, Richie.
8-6.
John, it was fine. I swear to God, it was fine.
Fallows is going to have to use the code of conduct. If you keep on arguing. Conduct warning, Mr. Fallows. Please play on. 8-6.
Yeah, it just came off at a funny angle, didn't it? He's looking very dangerous around that middle right areas, Richie. Real handful.
He's looking dangerous everywhere. He's a danger to himself, and that's ridiculous. You know, he didn't need to play that shot. It's just a rush of blood to the head, really, isn't it?
Well, he's frustrated, isn't he, with that decision, but it was clearly a double hit. I mean, the ball doesn't take that acute
Trajectory.
direction.
Yeah.
Where without it, just wasn't clean, was it? Tight. Yeah, great hands.
Clever tidy up.
Very clever.
Very cool from Adrian Waller. So 4 match balls to the world number 20.
Well, Richie he's just lost his way a little bit.
No left,
Some of
11-6.
that.
Game and match to Waller.
Well, he's taking it. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff there from Richie Fallows. He's going to be
11-6.
furious with the referee, but he's got to keep it in check. It's Paul Walters
Please show your
enters
appreciation
the
there.
court to have a word with the victor, Adrian Waller.
And our winner, again, just while he gets his breath, Adrian Waller. Adrian, it looked at one point that could have been 3-love, but even if it would have been 3-love, I certainly don't think it would have felt like it.
No. I mean, every game was competitive. I had a good start in that third and had the lead, so you know the onus is on me to close that game out. But I just took the foot off the gas a tiny bit, but then that's enough for him to run 7 straight points off. That's the difference, you know. There's just 1 or 2% like relax, and you know you've lost the game. So you know that teaches me the lesson over and over again as we all go through. You know, don't take your foot off the gas, or you know, don't take anything for granted, even though you've got a lead. So you know, he came back and started well in that fourth. You know, that was my mind then kicked in. That was quick 3-4-1. And then I had to compose myself, just get back to where I was at the beginning of that third, and just get it back to the back of the court. You know, it was getting dead, and just scrap it out at the back there to get a foothold again in the game. So luckily I did, and managed to get it over the line on that occasion.
And that little bit of extra time on court, generally speaking, as long as these matches aren't too long, do you often find that can help you really sort of get into the tournament, particularly as the first time on the glass court this year?
Yeah, definitely. That I think, well, it's the same for both of us. We both struggled a little bit, I thought, at the beginning to get our range at the back, but it got better as the match went on. Managed to lengthen out the court, so I expect to get better tomorrow again, just because I'm getting used to the court more, you know, playing to the conditions a bit differently. So my game will improve, but that's only because of the familiarity on this court.
Before we talk about tomorrow, let's talk about the last couple of months, because you've had a really good run, not only from a personal perspective, but also from an England representative perspective. That must hopefully give you a lot of confidence, not just for this tournament, but for the tournaments ahead.
Yeah, definitely. We had a great run in DC. The team all pulled together. You know, it wasn't just me. I was part of that team with all the other boys, and you know, you live and breathe every moment of your match and their match. So, you know, everyone pulled together and got some great performances out themselves. It helped that then we won the matches on those performances, but I still was very proud of everyone there to put across all their good squash. And even if we would have lost in, say, the semi-finals against France, everyone would have still been proud of how well they put in, you know. And it was just a bit of a bonus on the finals day to get stuck into Egypt with with no pressure. But yeah, it gets quite hard when you get closer. You know, Det was so close, and yeah, living and breathing that match before my own was just as draining. So yeah, it was good time, and you know, kicking on this half of the year and try and continue that form.
It appeared from the outside a real team effort, with a lot of players probably all playing at a very, very similar level, all with a genuine claim to be the English number one on any given day. Does that make a tournament like this again even more difficult to predict and more exciting for a player like you to challenge?
Yeah, definitely. When it's close, it's just as exciting for us. You know, everyone likes winning. You know, winning 4 matches easily, everyone still enjoys that. But when you really have to work hard for it, like anyone will this week, then it makes it just that bit sweeter, doesn't it?
And inevitably, we have to look forward to tomorrow, which I'm sure you are looking forward to tomorrow. One thing that you won't be doing is you won't be playing an Englishman. So again, 2 players that I'm sure you've played a lot. One you've had a very recent win against. So hopefully something to really look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I hope they go 120 minutes tonight. Get a bad night's sleep, and I'll pitch up tomorrow and give it my best shot. I'm happy playing either of those 2. I think I'm quite relaxed playing both of them, but nevertheless, it's never easy at this stage. As you said, we're all very close, and whoever puts across the best performance will win in the end of the day. So, got to go out there and give it my best, and if it's enough, then it's enough.
Well, we certainly wish you well. We congratulate you on today for a wonderful performance. We'll look forward to seeing you on this court tomorrow, and hopefully you can do your best, and we can have another great match. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Adrian Whitlock. As we mentioned earlier, unfortunately...
So, just a few words there from Adrian Waller in the end. It's very philosophical. As we keep saying, he's been around on the circuit for a long time now, 30 years of age, and been on the circuit over 10 years. He knows how to win squash matches, and he's very much looking forward to his semi-final. Doesn't know who he's playing yet. It's going to be Joel Makin or Alan Clyne, who are going to be on shortly. But some good form from him against an inspired Richie Fallows at times. So there you can see Joel Makin and Alan Clyne are due on in around about 4 minutes, so join us then. Welcome back to the final match of this quarter-final day of the British Squash Nationals here at the University of Nottingham, sponsored by AJ Bell. And we have the #1 seed from Wales. We actually have two players, neither of them are English, amazingly. Joel Makin from Wales against the 9 times Scottish champion Alan Clyne. And joining me for this final match, for the first time today, is Lewis Walters, coach here at the University of Nottingham.
Good evening, Parky.
Good evening, Lou. What have you been up to today? Have you been working?
A little bit. Did a little bit of coaching early, yeah, but it's been pretty quiet with this going off. Which is
no
nice.
courts for the students.
No, they're not happy at all. But yeah, it's good for me because I get a bit of a weekend off.
Well, they can get some studying done as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's about time they did some.
That's why they're here, isn't it?
Apparently.
And to play squash. And go to Ocean on Wednesday nights.
Ocean on Wednesday, Ocean on Friday. Yeah, they're probably Valentine's Ocean.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Let's go. You'll be there later, won't you?
Definitely not.
Time.
I might pop down for now. I'm kidding. I need to get a big feed after the 7 matches today actually instead of 8 with the withdrawal of Alison Waters.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. She just rolled her ankle yesterday against Lily Taylor in the last part of that.
I wouldn't call it exactly a roll. It didn't seem that serious. It seemed quite innocuous. It was just a slight twist, and it was sort of at the front of the side a little bit. And she carried, as I said, she carried on and won the match. But then it just sort of, she must have tried to practice or woken up really badly with it and struggling to walk properly, and ultimately had to withdraw.
Yeah, sometimes with those injuries, it can feel all right while you're playing, and then when the adrenaline wears off, you wake up the next morning and then it feels 10 times worse than maybe it did when you're on court. So what are your thoughts on this match coming up?
Well, I'm going to go straight in there and predict that Joel Makin's going to win.
Yep.
AJ Bell National Squash Championship 2020.
I don't think it's going to be easy.
Men's quarter-final match. Joel Makin of Wales to serve. Alan Clyne of Scotland to receive. Best of 5 games.
No, they're both very physical players.
Oh, absolutely. The head-to-head's 4-2 in favour of Makin.
I do think playing on a glass court is definitely going to suit Makin. I think he's had a lot more time on the glass court, and his game suits the glass court more so than Alan's does.
Yeah, well, he's been working on his. I mean, he's good. He's a good volleyer, and we talk about him being so strong and fit. Both of these guys, but Makin is a pretty natural volleyer, I feel. It's just not with loads of flair like a Wilstrop or whatever. But he's certainly getting better at the front of the court with his touch and his attacking ability.
Yeah,
Clyne is. He's quite an unorthodox player, isn't he?
Yeah. Especially on that, I say backhand and forehand side.
Yeah.
I know sort of front backhand, even though the swing is very unorthodox, I think because of that, a lot of players find him difficult to read in that front backhand area.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's certainly taxed a few players in that area. Yeah, I'm gonna go Joel Makin in 3, in fact, but there'll be at least 1 tie break, perhaps 2.
It's very specific.
I know.
2-love.
I know. Write that down.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that down. 1 tie break, maybe 2.
What do you think?
I'm gonna say that I think Alan might get a game. He might sneak a game here. Just because even though it is a glass court, it's a bouncy glass court, and I think that Alan's probably got enough physicality to live with Joel. I think in the end, Joel's probably going to come through just because he's going to move Alan round a bit more, and like you say, he's been working on his touch. There's a great example.
Hand out, 3-1.
He is off to a flying start here, though, Joel.
33 years of age, Alan Clyne. He's got some experience under the belt. He's played Commonwealth Games and had some success in the doubles there, and I think 9 times Scottish champion. It's a great achievement.
Yeah, definitely. I remember playing Alan as a junior, and he didn't look like he was going to be sort of
this good
as a junior. Sort of with the swing and stuff. He was always very physical. He was very strong, but he's obviously worked really hard on his game, and he's had a lot of success, as you say. 9 times Scottish champion.
Well, he's worked on his game, and he's just, I mean, his super strength is his fitness, isn't it? I mean, look at those legs, the definition, it's like Popeye.
I was just going to say Popeye, yeah. Does he
must eat a lot of spinach,
yeah.
a lot of Scottish spinach. Don't know if that's a big thing up there, but staying off the haggis.
Hand out, 4-3.
But it's good for a change to see different nations having a go, isn't it? Scotland v Wales.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when the last time the #1 seed for this event was non-English? Put you on the spot there.
I don't. I can pick out some #1 seeds who weren't English, like Peter Nicol.
5-3.
But I mean, he changed.
Yeah.
It was close. I mean, he might have been #1 seed when he was
Scottish.
I think he probably was, because it was around.
The only person I can think of was possibly Dave Evans. Would he have been a #1 seed, or?
Possibly. He did get to the final one year, lost to Peter Marshall.
6-3.
I'm going to go with no on that one.
No. I reckon Joel's probably one of the first in recent years, anyway.
I think so. Of course, Tesney Evans won the event last year. I'm not so sure what seed she was.
We're guaranteed to have a non-English finalist in the men's event. Semi-finalist. Just getting a bit carried away.
It's just fast forwarding.
Yeah. It's been a long
It's
day.
Friday today, it's not Saturday.
It's been a long day.
Wishing your life away. Wife? Not wife. There's no wife.
No wife.
7-3, left side.
Yeah, I just think John Makin is, I mean, they're both robust, but he's a little more robust in terms of his quality and shot selection.
Yeah, definitely. I think if Clyne is going to get into Joel, he's going to have to have an exceptional game in regards to like his touch to the front of the court. I think sort of as it is at the moment when he's going into the front, Joel's just getting onto it too quickly, and it's causing Aaron some trouble.
Well, I did actually briefly have a chat with Clyne earlier, and the thing for both of them is fitness is not an issue, is it?
No.
It's both of these guys are probably of equal fitness. Two of the fittest guys on the circuit. I don't think one of them is going to be walking off totally exhausted, and that's the reason why they've lost. It's going to be who can win at squash.
Yeah,
you know.
100%. I think it was a good example there when Alan went into the front right. Didn't really trouble Joel at all. Alan had the whole court, and I just feel if it was the other way around, then Joel would have made him work a lot harder in that position.
Yeah, absolutely. Made more use of the opportunity.
Yeah, 100%.
Alan Clyne currently 39 in the world, but has been up in the 20s. John Makin at 11 in the world, hence why he's #1 seed.
Is this the? This would be the first nationals for a while where the #1 seed hasn't been in the top 10 in the world, I think.
True, true. You always have to focus on the negative.
I know.
It's a transition period.
Transition.
No, but that is a good point. I mean, it's still a world-class field, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
there's a few in the women's still in the top 10, or a couple. But, yeah, the men's is it definitely is a transition. Obviously, with Nick Matthew retiring recently.
10-4, game ball.
James Willstrop, Daryl Selby in the twilight of their careers. It's time for people to, like Joel Makin, to make the move, and he is doing, isn't he? He's almost there. It won't be long before he's in the top 10. And of course, people like your cousin, need to be making the move as well. But that's a very clinical first game from the Welsh #1 seed. Just stuck to his game plan a bit better, I feel. There were no real unforced errors from Makin. I can't recall any. So 11-4 to Joel Makin in the first game. He leads by 1 game to love.
Well, Joel Makin, the #1 seed for this event, getting off to a strong start. There's some good squash from Alan Clyne, but towards the latter stages, Joel just showed his class and came through that first game 11-4.
Makin leads 1 game to love. Love all.
So a really solid start from Joel Makin, the #1 seed. He's looking good, isn't he, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, straight away in that first game, he was jumping onto the volley. He had Alan working right from the first point. I thought there'd probably be a longer period where they were kind of just feeling each other out, but Joel just got straight to it, really.
Who's impressed you most in this tournament, the men's event and the women's event?
For the men's event, it's probably James, actually.
Willstrop.
Yeah.
Same here.
I think he's just, when he gets it right, just the accuracy is second to none. It's squash at its best, really, I think.
Yeah, he's played some sublime stuff already in his first 2 matches. Oh.
Interesting shot selection.
Yeah, he's read that. Oh, he's not letting him through.
No loud.
Absolutely no way through there. But
And out.
The reverse base for me
Yes,
was
quality of
was
the
the
ball into the
interesting
back.
one when he.
Winning shot.
he actually kind of got pushed back, didn't he, by Clyne? But it was the right decision. It's tight. It's a good squeeze.
And out. 2-1.
So if Clyne's going to make any inroads here, what do you think he needs to do?
I think he needs to try to move John Makin around a little bit more aggressively, twist and turn him, use some of that unorthodox ability that he's got. Maybe a few more little boasts here and there, trickle boasts, little flicks. Not overdoing it, obviously, but just finding the balance. That's good. A bit of a double shot down the middle. It's just a bit more of a mix, because I think he's going to struggle to win up and down the walls.
Yeah, just something to question the movement and the rhythm of Makin. Like you say, I think at the moment, if he's just hitting up and down the walls, he's not going to trouble Makin. Like you said, Makin can do this all day. He's trying to move him around. It's just the quality probably needs to be 10-20% better, doesn't it, on the short balls?
Yeah, that was a good idea, the flick. So he played the flick there, and obviously John Makin read it, but he wasn't quite on balance. You know, there's a bit of a checking of the feet before he decided which way he was going to go, and that forced the error, I believe. That's why I think when you look at Makin against the top guys, he does pretty well. Doesn't do badly against guys like Shabaghi and those kind of guys. But when he's playing really deceptive players with a lot of disguise, that's when he finds it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Perhaps Gawad and Moman.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like you say, I think physically, when you play someone like Shabaghi, you can live with that.
It's not about disguise, is it? It's about relentless power and strength, really, and strength of mind. Shabaghi. That's why he's been good for so long.
There's been some good patch for Clyne here. We can kind of capitalise on this.
He had the opportunity there, didn't he, to play the drop shot. He was just a couple of shots ago, forehand straight drop. He was just in front of Makin, and I think that's where he needs to go for it.
Yeah, just let it go.
Yeah,
Just
let it go, like in Frozen.
How many times have you watched Frozen?
28 times, probably at least.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sing it. Don't worry. I might sing from Frozen 2 though, if you want.
Frozen 2. If Alan wins this game, will you give the verse?
Only seen that one once.
Sorry, 4-3. Correction. 5-2.
It's a good example of the forehand drop there to win that last point by Clyne.
Yeah, you can take it in like there. Okay, he's just clipping the side wall, but he's getting it in the general area.
Yeah.
He's getting nice and low.
I think he's getting the positions in front of Makin, isn't he? And it's just having the confidence to then take the ball in, with, as you said, with quality.
Absolutely, and it's good response here in the second. It's got a lot of experience, Alan Clyne now. That's nice. That's what I was talking about. That was, yeah, good call. Definitely a double bounce. And
7-2.
it was deceptive, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, he hasn't played it yet in this match, so
He's been saving it.
that 3-love prediction is a bit shaky.
It's not looking too good at the moment, but you know what it's like. You know, points to 11, just another couple of points on the board for Makin. And it's anyone's game again, but if Clyne can just win this point, that's good reaction. He's not gonna
Great
get that.
gets from Makin.
That is immensely strong from Joel Makin.
4-7.
The pace has gone up here by Makin.
That volley was impressive wasn't it, on the backhand. From high up, just getting that power and accuracy.
Hanging in there, Clyne. It's a great volley drop.
There's the flick. There's the flick. Got into it. Got onto it nice and early.
Makin's not happy.
Sorry? No, we saw it good. No, I saw the ball
Well,
good.
there's a ball high up on the back and side.
And out 8-4.
That's not it. But I didn't notice anything, did you?
No,
Earlier
all
on.
looked good to me.
All looked fine.
There's that front backhand by Clyne.
Oh, that's a miss hit. There's the apology
Thanks.
from Joel Makin.
5-8.
Needed it, didn't he?
Yeah, the frame. You know about those ones, Parky?
It's interesting. Joel Makin, obviously from Wales, he's talking about #1 seeds in this event. I'm not sure about that, but it's following a line of fantastic top pros: Alex Goff, David Evans, and before that, Adrian Davies, known as the Welsh Wizard. Alex Goff got to 5 in the world, I think was his best. David Evans won the British Open. And, Adrian Davies got to 10 in the world, so Joel Makin, as fantastic as he is, still got a bit to prove. And I'm sure he will.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He works hard. He's got a good training base. Works with Rob Owen in Warwickshire.
Yeah. And this is good pressure. He's realised the danger and the extra pressure from Clyne early on in this game, and he's back to almost parity.
Yeah, I think he's up the pace a bit, and he's not giving Clyne quite so much to work with. So Clyne's not getting those opportunities that he was getting in the first half of the game to take him in short.
Absolutely not. Yeah, he's closing him down. There's hardly any unforced errors here from Joel Makin. He's been really stingy. Dropped a game, of course, yesterday to Sam Todd, who was really impressive. 16 years of age against the 11 in the world.
Stroke to Makin.
Oh. What do you think to that?
Well, it's strange setup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was
Video
shaping up for a forehand there, and
Clyne.
the ball was in front of him.
Yeah,
I mean,
he was very
on
far
the
on the
stroke
backhand
decision.
and then decided to try and play it forehand. I mean, I don't know, where's he going to hit that?
Well, I suppose he could say, well, I'm going to hit a reverse angle. I'm going to flick it down the wall with my inside-out forehand. But I mean, he was in the way, wasn't he, Clyne?
Yeah.
And it was a poor shot. It's actually a tricky one.
Yeah.
That's why we're not referees.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes, Led,
I think
decision
that's a good
overruled,
decision, though.
Making us one review remaining.
Yeah, because of the
7-8.
Because
The
of the
preparation.
yeah, the preparation, yeah. I mean, Clyne was definitely in the way, but then you think about where Joel could actually hit it with
Right
that
side.
swing.
Thank you.
He was very limited.
Okay. 8-all.
not far away, but he feels like he's got to speculate a little bit to accumulate. Alan Clyne just clipping the top of the tin. So back to parity now from Joel Makin. Proper serve down the middle.
That's a great shot.
Yeah.
And out.
Read it nice and early, anticipated the cross-court drive. Wasn't quite wide enough.
Yeah, I think Makin's got to be careful there. He's sent a lot of balls cross-court that haven't quite had the width, and they've almost gone straight onto Clyne's racket. Good flick.
It's good length, good depth from Joel Makin. Didn't quite get the line on the forehand there. Chance for Clyne.
He played it well.
Yeah, he did. He's got some good touch sometimes when he sets himself. Good dig there from Makin. Pressure still being applied by Alan Clyne,
Out.
and it's worked. Very well played from the Scotsman,
10-8. Game ball.
and he's earned these 2-game balls here. I feel that both of these players have to really work hard to earn the points.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, talked about the physicality of both of them. I think they're both.
Whoa!
Thank you. 11-8 came to Clyne. 1 game more.
Not really. I don't know.
Sure
Why
what
was he conceding? Because it was dangerous play, or
did he hit the tin?
not really? No, it didn't hit the tin.
Didn't it? Right.
Didn't hit the tin. I'm not really too sure what happened there, but we'll find out in due course. Alan Clyne taking the second game 11-8 in 16 minutes. The score is 1 game apiece.
Well, Alan Clyne starting to show some of his skill. Really upped his game and started taking the ball into the front of the court with some great skill there. towards the latter end, Joel Makin started a mini comeback, but Clyne coming through 11-8 in 16 minutes. Games are 1-1.
One game all. Clyne to serve. Love all. Game. One love, fellas.
Clyne takes the first point of this third game.
He's got to persist with that style though, the accuracy and the breaking it up a little bit, using the deception. It's very hard to do, isn't it, against someone like Joel Makin, just to keep it up.
Yeah, and I think that style of play probably doesn't come naturally to Clyne, but he did a good job in the last game. I think we're going to see some longer rallies in the first period of this third game. A few questions there.
It was difficult to read, to be honest with you. 2-1.
You think it's going to be? It's going to start getting a little bit more additional.
Yeah,
Pickup.
yeah, I think there's obviously a lot on the line, and the third game's so important here. I think that just the length of the rallies is going to go on a little bit more than it did. There's probably going to be less speculative stuff just thrown in there just because of the importance of this game. Again, like Alan Clyne, that front left, it's difficult to read.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been on court with him. It's a long time ago. In fact, it was in the early days of his development, probably just as a young pro, that I played him up in Edinburgh, and yeah, I had problems. I don't think I'd seen a backhand like it. Never been on court with Joel Makin, thankfully. Too much of an age difference.
And out 3-2.
You played Joel Makin?
Yeah, I played him a couple of times actually. Probably early stages of his professional career. And the first time we played, we had a bit of a battle.
Did you win?
I think I lost 3-2. I think. And then
I think every time I've asked you about a match in these commentary days, you've lost 3-2.
Yeah, because you keep asking me about the wrong matches.
It's all people that are in the, at
Yeah.
the top end of the British Nationals as well, to be fair to you.
Yeah.
It's not a,
Ask me some
it's not a,
about-
it's not a
about
county
some-
weekend.
Yeah, I know. Can you ask me about some easier matches, please? Ask me how I did in the
I'll
club
have a think.
champs or something,
The
I
club
don't-
champs, yeah. Ox.
Yeah.
You probably lost to him as well.
I
didn't
beat
you?
him 3-2 actually.
You even beat me 3-2 last year, and I'm really crap.
I did, yeah. Yeah. Abbeydale, Yorkshire League.
And out. 4-3.
That was, of course, before you made the transition over to racquetball.
Yep, I'm now a fully fledged racquetball pro.
Are you looking for sponsorships?
I am. Yeah, if you know anyone,
Yeah.
just
Yes, left.
send them my WhatsApp.
What's that? CV?
Or
Have
my
you got
Snapchat.
a racquetball CV yet?
Yeah, well, I'm just working on it actually with Fuller.
Yeah, right.
He's my manager.
Are you going to put your practice match down with him today on
Yeah.
on there?
That's going to be on my CV. Yeah. DNF.
It's a good hold by Clyne.
Great touch from the back of the court. It's really good from Alan Clyne. You could hear the strings singing there. Ran the ball in. So tight. So complete parity now for 1 second.
5-4.
This is some of the better squash that I've seen Clyne play. I haven't watched him play that much, but
Yes, left.
I think he's definitely using the front of the court
There's a lot of
a
room
lot
to play
more
there.
than he did maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Definitely.
No, I thought he cleared enough for you to take.
I think it's interesting. That's what he was alluding to earlier when I saw him briefly, and we just had a little word about the match. He's playing someone who
Making,
is as fit as him.
Makin on
Yeah.
the
You know,
left
as
decision.
can keep going. So that takes it out. Normally, I think he feels like he can beat a lot of people on fitness.
Yep.
Whereas with John Makin, he's fully aware that he's got to play better squash in order to win. He's not going to tire him out.
No.
He's not going to exhaust him. Both of these guys are too fit for that. So he has to use his brain. He has to use his racket in order to get through.
Yes, left decision upheld. Making us no reviews remaining. 5-4.
I think he's doing that well here, Clyne. He's mixing up the paces really well. He's using a lot of height, even on the volley. Saw there a couple of cross-court volley lobs. Again, using the height and then bringing it down. It's unlucky.
6-4.
Yeah, I think it's important as well as you get a little bit older into your 30s. He's not old by any means at 33, but it's all relative, isn't it? I mean, he's still got his speed, hasn't he? But I suppose it's in terms of recovery, you got to evolve as you get a bit older into your 30s.
Yeah, definitely.
When you're still at the top end, it's just not going to be any pleasure playing 3-2 after 3-2 after 3-2. His body's going to start calling out.
I think for how physical Clyne is as a player, he's done pretty well over the years with the lack of injuries he's got, or the few injuries that he's had. Like you say, obviously putting so much pressure or strain through your body playing 3-2 every time you go on court. He's done well, but nothing's really broken down. I can't think of any period where he's been out for a significant amount of time.
Yeah, you did right. And I think when you look at his physique, though, he's quite a squat sort of physique. He's like a boxer, and he's so strong. And I think he must work hard in the gym in between matches, in between tournaments, and in the off season. And his body's just really ready for tournaments. And
yeah, it's probably the spinach as well.
And all that spinach.
Yeah.
And in fact, this is how you want to feel. And this is, I remember Peter Nichols saying this, that when you get to the tournaments, it actually feels not easy, but comfortable in relation to the training, the brutal training that you've been doing. And I'm sure that's the case with both of these guys we see here.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard, Joel Makin's notorious for his treadmill sessions.
Right.
I've heard about them. I don't know exactly what they are. I think Mark Fuller would be able to tell you a little bit more about them. But
Out. 9-5.
Has built up a good lead here, Joel Makin.
yeah, Clyne's just found the tin. I think a little bit too often here, hasn't he?
Just found the tin.
Just found it. Just found it.
Just located the tin area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good place to be. That's the front left. The trusty deceptive flick on the backhand side from Alan Clyne. Nobody plays it like that.
No. Cricket.
Cricket.
Out.
Yeah, just one or two errors coming from the racket of Clyne. That's just not happening from Makin. That's the difference. So 4 game balls here to take a 2-1 lead. Went for the big one there, Makin.
Oh, it's a great shot.
And out. 7-10.
Slammed it down.
A slam dunk. Wow, it's great pace, great injection of pace there. Slightly loose ball from Clyne, and it was punished by Makin.
Makin leads 2 games to 1. Makin to serve. Level.
Joel Makin kicking off this 4th game after 42 minutes of play.
Out. 1 love.
I think the start's going to be important here for Clyne. If he's got any chance of taking this into a 5th, he's going to need to start strong.
Yeah, and he's going to have to cut out the unforced errors. They still seem to be coming through.
Yes, left. One love.
Alan Clyne has a habit of running into people's arms and rackets. I've seen a lot of pictures of him online with bandages over his nose and his eyes and forehead.
Nose, eyes, forehead.
Forehead, yeah. He's got a habit.
Does he get a ball in the eye though?
Didn't get a ball in the eye, just the racket. Well, the face area.
I don't know if you saw today, but Darryl Selby was playing in
Oh
eye
yeah.
protection.
Oh right, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, what was that?
Well, you know, he got hit in the eye with the ball yesterday
No.
by Ollie Petts. And
Didn't know
it's
that.
good that the commentators are keeping up with this tournament.
In every match.
Yeah, so he got a ball in the eye and he had to go to A&E.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, and it was very close to doing some serious damage.
Right.
Perhaps even detaching the retina.
Really?
Luckily, that didn't happen, but it really gave Darryl Selby a wake-up call. And he wore his eye protection today.
Yeah.
He says he basically had a bit of an achy eye, but obviously it's going to go away. But got outplayed really.
So how did he
Well,
get hit?
I think it was like early on. It was 2-1 in the first or something, and there was a intentional shot down the middle by Selby.
Yeah.
Petts went for a reactionary, quick shot behind the back.
Yeah.
Hit the frame, and it went
into
the eye of Darryl. I think that explains it, because I was wondering how the top pros who are so accurate can do that. But
Yeah.
That explains it. Some sort of quick reaction, and
obviously when
the head being in kind of the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
But yeah, he also said after the match, I think he's gonna. That's a wonderful shot. He's gonna continue wearing eye protection now,
Right.
which is interesting.
Yeah, I think with the eye protection, a lot of it depends on how comfortable you are as a player wearing eye protection, and also like the quality of the eye protection. I mean, of course, in like the doubles matches, all the players tend to wear eye protection. It's not mandatory, but they do, just because the ball's just flying around and you don't know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I think for the heavy sweaters, I think it can be an issue.
Definitely.
With bits of sweat getting onto the glasses and stuff. I think when I've worn them, it hasn't necessarily been the issue of them fogging up. It's just if you make a heavy movement and your head drops, and then you just get beads of sweat on the glasses, and if that's at a crucial time in the match, and all of a sudden you can't see the ball.
You must have worn them a lot in the States. Or not really.
Not really, actually.
No, did you play much hardball?
No.
That'd be why.
Not a fan of hardball doubles, actually. Don't mind don't mind normal doubles.
It's nicked.
And out. 4-1.
So another point on the board for the Welsh #1 seed.
Yeah, this is going to be difficult for Clyne now, because with every point Makin's just getting more and more confident.
Great lift, good use of height from Clyne. Yeah, it's well played. Needed that. Got 4-1 down.
Yeah, it's good. Good early racket prep. He got on the ball early and then just the hold and flick cross court. Joel Makin nowhere for that one. How many squash matches have you watched today, Barky?
This is my 7th one. It
Seventh.
was 8. I commentated on yesterday, and this is the 7th today. Of course, it would have been 8, but we had the withdrawal of Alison Waters.
But
Yes. It's your first match of today, and you've gone.
Yeah, I've gone.
Do you want a
already.
Red Bull?
I've gone already. Yeah.
Other energy drinks are available.
Did you used to use energy drinks? How you say that when you played? Were you
What, like Red Bull? Or just other
or
types?
Lucozade or any other brands?
Not really those kind of brands. I think I used to drink Isostar at one stage. I think quite a lot.
Yep.
I don't know if that's still going.
I don't
Sort
know.
of,
I heard of it. I used it.
Yeah,
a long time
electrolytes.
ago.
Yeah, those kind of drinks.
Yeah.
Had lots of kind of powders and things in my bag traveling around the world. Yeah, it's good. Good change of direction with a little bit of power there from Makin. Totally wrong footing, Clyne.
Clyne's worked his way back into this 4th game. He's obviously down 5-1 and he's just creeping back up. That's tight from Makin.
It was tight and it just sort of clipped the nick a little bit as well, didn't it there? So it bounced. You see it spinning back into the wall. Didn't bounce up. It's got to be a stroke. Oh my word. That is a shocker.
Player review Makin on the yes-let decision.
Oh, I sound like PJ. Oh dear. It's an absolute howler.
He's caught the sidewall a lot on that backhand drop.
A lot. And it's gone straight back into his feet, his body. Joel Makin is absolutely all over it. Yes, thank you. Good overall.
Stroke to Makin, decision overruled.
I mean, it's getting late, isn't it? Well, it's not actually that late, but it's
Probably
it's
feels
been a
like
long
it
day.
if you've been in here for the last 8 hours. Been in here for 45 minutes and delirious.
It's not as hot as it was last year, but the people that are actually at the venue, we are locked inside a box as commentators with no daylight.
No daylight anywhere in sight.
7-4.
Again, great squeeze, just really solid hits in from the number 1 seed. Built himself a really nice lead in this 4th.
Clyne's going to respond. It's going to need to be now. He's put that in well.
And out.
Making that asking.
Yeah, I think that's sensible. He knew he'd stitched himself a little bit, didn't he, with the loose shot. And Clyne tied it up.
See Dave Evans there on the front row. I think he's talking to Joel in between games.
Yeah, good spot. He's chewing the ear off Paul Walters at the moment.
Yeah, probably Talking about unsquashable rackets.
9-5.
That's a lovely finish. Great. Massive frustration for Alan Clyne, understandably. Just popping the ball up, clipping the sidewall, and just can't afford to do that against this calibre of player. So Makin now has 5 match balls to secure this quarter-final. Oh, and he's done it straight away. An error from Alan Clyne. Great disappointment from Alan Clyne. He played well at times. But Joel Makin, #1 seed, still proving his worth in this tournament. 11-4, 8-11, 11-7, 11-5, 3-1 in 54 minutes.
Joel, congratulations first of all. A few words about your opponent. He made it pretty difficult out there for large periods of that match.
Yeah, I felt he used the height really well there, which I don't normally associate with the way he plays, but he was using the counter drop and lob sort of combination well, and he was getting it back above my head, and I had to reset again after the second game because I was going a little bit cheap, so I needed to go back over his head off that and then sort of try and attack a little bit more, and that opened up a bit more space.
And in terms of the court, was it the way you expected it to play, or maybe did it sort of, you know, maybe a little bit colder? I mean, from the outside, it looked quite a hard court to be playing on at times.
Yeah, it is dying off a bit more than I thought it would, but it's always quick through the front wall here. So if you can get a little bit of hold and hit through quickly, you can get a lot of reward for that. So I was trying to do that, maybe used it a little bit too much, trying to do that a bit too much, but yeah, I thought it worked for the most part, really.
Last year was a huge disappointment. I know you were playing so well. You went to the tournament as champions. Unfortunately, you incurred that ankle injury, which prevented you from playing this year. Does that give you extra incentive for this year and trying to be the first Welsh male player to win this title?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been disappointing the last couple of years. I had injuries in January both years, so I've missed the last couple, so I haven't had a chance. But yeah, it's something we all target. You've had players like Nick Matthew, Pete Nicol, Lee Beachill, James, Darryl. All these guys have won it over the last couple of years, and it's a massive title for all of us. And the younger players are getting through a little bit more now, but it's still, it means a lot to us, definitely. Yeah.
And before a final, there's obviously your match tomorrow. A little bit of a history, a little bit of recent history where he got a win over you in the world teams. I know you're a very proud Welshman, so would you be looking to sort of put that right tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, that was a disappointing match, but Waller's got a lot of quality, got a lot of respect for the way he plays. He gets across the middle well, he hits lovely straight lines, he's a quality player. So I know that going into the match, so sort of gives me an idea of what I need to do. It's clear what I need to do, but his quality, it's whether he allows me to do that and I can get on top for periods. So yeah, it's an exciting opportunity for both of us, I think.
Well, we certainly look forward to a great match. Once again, congratulations tonight, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, Joel Makin.
So a wonderful performance from Joel Makin in the end, snatching that game in 4, going through to the semi-finals. Sarah Jane Perry coming through in 5 against Julianne Cortese. George Parker playing fantastically against Daryl Selby, coming through in 3. Millie Tomlinson, a very tough battle against Lucy Tamel. James Wilstrop, a masterclass, the most impressive player for myself and Lewis Walters this week so far, coming through in 3 against Declan James. Emily Whitlock through in 4, Adrian Waller in 4. Jasmine Hutton unfortunately didn't have a match against Alison Waters, who withdrew, and Joel Makin, the number 1 seed, coming through in 4. So here's the semi-final lineup for tomorrow. Starting at 1 o'clock, we have the number 1 seed, Sarah Jane Perry, up against Millie Tomlinson, followed by George Parker and the defending champion, James Wilstrop, at 2 o'clock. And then the next session, Emily Whitlock, last year's runner-up, 4 o'clock against Jasmine Hutton. And Joel Makin, the number 1 seed from Wales, up against Adrian Waller at 5 o'clock. That's the last match. Join us again tomorrow.